first thing someone will notice when coming into Taiwan is looking at the buildings. They will notice the mismatched architecture and wonder like why it's like that. Why is it so old, but then at the same time so new, and there's like really no gray area. You'll see a really beautiful tall apartment building or just tall skyscraper, and right next to that you'll see a very old, rundown, looking almost industrial looking building. So why is it like that? Well, from the beginning, Taiwan, I guess you could say it was an accident. It wasn't really supposed to happen. People showed up from China, sort of running away from the civil war that was happening. There were, of course, Taiwanese already here, and a lot of the architecture was sort of based upon like Japanese colonial style. But then millions of people came in, and it was actually like the largest exodus ever recorded from China. And so they needed housing immediately. So they weren't really thinking about like the aesthetics of it. So from the beginning, it was all just about practicality, utility, and that's where it started. So how can we create the most apartments in the cheapest, quickest way? And so you'll notice a lot of apartments are just all concrete. There's really no like tile or anything, and a lot of the windows will have like metal gratings over them. Um, yeah, so why did they keep it that way, right? So that was in the beginning, but why did they keep it that way? I'm not really sure. I've had this discussion with many people, but I think it would maybe be connected to the practicality of it. Like they share this apartment, but nobody wants to really give the money for the upgrade on the outside, but they're willing to, of course, upgrade inside. So there's way less focus on the outside of a building. Maybe they want to look like they aren't rich or like they have money to avoid. There is like this big concern over like thieves. If you notice, there's a lot of like metal bars on all the older buildings. There's a lot of concern that people might break into their house, but it is confusing because you might come to Taiwan because it's one of the safest countries in the world. But I guess back in the day, there were a lot of thieves, and especially in like Taipei, where there were a lot of like different cultures clashing, with the new Chinese coming in, and there's a lot of like mistrust. But I don't. They just kept it going. It's weird. It's changed. Taiwan has changed. It's developed, but they just keep the same set of mindset, I guess. Also, of course, there's limited land, high demand, so it's like they're just like trying to put up these apartments really quick. But now Taiwan is a very developed nation. There's a lot of money here, so you see like brand new buildings. So it's either like very old or it's brand new, like just created like within the last 10 years. Uh, Really beautiful high rises. As you can see in the video, right next to each other, very large high rises, like going up to like 40, 50 stories in some places. Right next to just like 4-story, like a 1950s industrial, like very like brutal architecture. We call it like brutalist, almost like communist style architecture. So it's like that. There's this huge contrast. Yeah, so Taiwan has started to like modernize quickly. So you will see a lot of the apartments, the older apartments being taken down. But in order for the apartments to be taken down, the whole community in the apartment needs to vote on that. It needs to be unanimous. That's also hard to get like the older people to move out of their houses. So that's another reason why like old and new are put together. Yeah, there's like this resistance of like I don't want to give away my house, or there is like a system where they can trade their house. It's not like a direct trade, but it would be like I'm going to trade my old house for a new house. Um, Actually, I'm moving into a place that like just like that. I'm buying it from an older house owner, and then they're selling it to me as a new house. Um, yeah. So it is it creates this visual chaos, but also like unique charm. Some people like it, other people think it's ugly. You know, it is very mismatched, but at the same time, it does create a uniqueness. Um, it's almost like a Blade Runner type of dystopic, utopic mix of aesthetics. Um, yeah, so that's what I got to say about that.